Donald Trump's tour with Bill O'Reilly is not going well. First, we shared news that he's having trouble selling tickets. But now we're learning that he's getting booed by members of the audience, people who typically support him. And it has to do with the fact that he just confessed that he's not only fully vaccinated, he did in fact get the booster shot. Let's watch.
Both the president and I are vaxxed, and did you get the booster?
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so.
Don't. That's all. There's a very tiny group over there.
Oh, he didn't like getting booed. Now, earlier he had thrown cold water on the notion of getting boosted, which we'll get to in just a second. But just minutes before Trump took credit for the vaccine, just moments before that, he had actually taken credit for the vaccine rollout while criticizing his MAGA base for their vaccine hesitancy. Let's watch.
We got a vaccine done in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take from 5 to 12 years. Because of that vaccine, millions and millions of people, I think this would have been the Spanish flu of 1917, where up to 100 million people died. This was going to ravage the country far beyond what it is right now. Take credit for it. Take credit for it. It's a great, what we've done is historic. Don't let them take it away. Don't take it away from ourselves. You're playing right into their hands when you sort of like, oh, the vaccine. If you don't want to take it, you shouldn't be forced to take it. No mandates, but take credit because we saved tens of millions of lives. Take credit. Don't let them take that away from you.
You know, I have mixed feelings about that statement because it seems like he's encouraging people to get vaccinated, and I'm here for it. He doesn't want to say that he's in favor of vaccine mandates because that's incredibly unpopular with right-wing voters. But sure, I mean, more of that. Please keep talking about how you got the booster. Keep talking about how it saved so many lives in this country. If he wants to take credit for the vaccine rollout, I don't even have a problem with that. Just get people vaccinated. Encourage them to get the shots.
Yeah, if you noticed, we've been telling the last couple of weeks, Tucker Carlson looks like he's turning around on COVID because my theory was they're tired of having all those Republican voters die. And they know that the unvaccinated are dying at anywhere from 4 to 10 times the rate of the vaccinated. And so, and now Trump is coming out and saying, okay, take the vaccine. Bill O'Reilly's saying, take the vaccine. They're turning around. And so they've lost too many voters. I think that's the selfish reason why. But in this clip about Trump getting booed, I'm going to ironically defend him, which I feel disgusting about anytime we do it, but we can't help but be fair. So you'll notice I'm not defending the audience. When he said it shouldn't be mandated, they went nuts and cheered. When he said he got the booster, they booed, okay? But he did push for the vaccine, and this time he was not mealy-mouthed about it. He was very clear. In there, I watched it earlier. He was very clear in saying the vaccine was the right thing to do. He was trying to take credit for it. I'm with Anna. Take credit. I don't care, right? And so I think he's a fascist, and I think he would destroy this democracy. So that's why I feel, I don't feel good about ever giving him credit. But it's our job to be honest with you guys. And he actually did do a pretty good push for the vaccine there, and a strong one, and better than anyone on Fox News is doing or anyone in right-wing media is doing. So credit where credit is due.
So now let's take that credit away, because regardless of how much he is putting pressure on people to get vaccinated, regardless of how informative he is and talking about the number of lives that were saved as a result of the vaccine, the damage is already done. He has caused so much damage in spreading disinformation about the vaccines that his own supporters don't even care that he's now pushing for people to get vaccinated. So for instance, I want to go to this interview that he had with Maria Bartiromo on the topic of the boosters, okay? So this is a flashback. Let's go to the final video in the segment.
I still come back to the idea of a booster shot. I mean, yes, you're right. The vaccines work. We've seen that.
That sounds, you know what? That sounds to me like a money-making operation for Pfizer. Okay? Think of the money involved.
Getting
an
a
extra
booster.
shot, that's tens of billions of dollars. How good a business is that? If you're a pure businessman, you say, you know what, let's give them another shot. That's another $10 billion of money coming in. The whole thing is just crazy. It doesn't, you wouldn't think you would need a booster. You know, when these first came out, they were good for life. Then they were good for a year or two, and I could see the writing on the wall. I could see the dollar signs in their eyes of that guy that runs Pfizer.
So that kind of messaging does quite a bit of damage, and it's really hard to reverse that.
Yeah, it's classic Trump. He's a con man. He can't help but talk out of both sides of his mouth. I'm just amazed that he once accidentally said the right thing. I'll take it, is my point. But by the way, Bartiromo, full-blown maniac. She should not be on television. She's completely lost her mind. And by the way, Donald Trump, what insiders in the White House say that when he had COVID, he was so incredibly scared, which I don't blame him. He's an older guy and he had trouble breathing and he panicked, okay? And it's understandable because it's a real dangerous disease, and back then there was no vaccine, right? And so that's why, of course, he took the booster. He goes on TV and goes, oh, I got a booster, I don't care about it. And then he takes the booster right away. But I'll give him credit for admitting it with O'Reilly.
Right, and luckily there's data now showing that if you've gotten 2 shots, it's not as powerful against the new variant Omicron compared to getting boosted. If you did get boosted with either the Pfizer shot or the Moderna shot, you have a far better chance of, if you do get a breakthrough infection of the new variant, of avoiding hospitalization, obviously avoiding dying from the variant. So that's really good news. The booster works, it'll keep you safe. So if you haven't gotten boosted yet, it's now widely available to people. Get boosted, protect yourself, keep yourself safe from this variant. And understand what public health officials are concerned about is the same thing we've been concerned about since the very beginning of this pandemic, which is our healthcare system is not suited to take in endless supplies of people who are suffering from this pandemic, right? We're already seeing the number of coronavirus cases spike up again. Hospitals are already concerned about being overwhelmed again. And so the best way to avoid that is to be fully vaccinated, boosted, and just safe from this new variant.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.